Hello, Westies fans. Great to be back with you again and giving you a little bit of feedback on the weekend. As far as the match was concerned, I thought we matched it pretty strongly with the league leaders. We went in with the idea of trying to push them as hard as we could and be the first team to knock them over, but unfortunately they were just a little bit too good for us in the end. I thought there was patches throughout the game where we competed really strongly with them, and then there was just little surges that they had that we didn't quite cope with. And that's just the fact of them being such a good team, and they've won 16 games in a row for some reason, and that's what they showed. But look, I was really proud of some of our guys, or I should say the team, over the course of the whole game, and there was certainly some really good signs considering they're the benchmark of the competition for this season. Yeah, so we had a debutant in Luke Redfern, and I thought he contributed really strongly over the course of the game. He'd put in a lot of hard yards throughout the year. I think we total up, he might have been 7 or 8 times as an emergency throughout the year. He came to us as a midfielder, and we decided with the depth of our midfield that we'd put him to half back a number of weeks back in the reserves just to get a little bit more of another angle from him on what sort of position he might be able to play. Yeah, and he'd sort of gone about his business really well in that regard, so we decided to give him a go. And as a half-back flanker, I thought he did a really good job, 20 possessions. Gave us a bit of drive and a bit of rebound, a bit of offence and a bit of run that we haven't seen, so that was really handy. And also in the second half I moved Kenny Carpeney, which a lot of you wouldn't have seen, back to the half-back flank as well, just to see if we could provide a little bit more run and offence, which seemed to help us in the second half where we kicked the 7 goals. So that's something we might persevere with going forward. Also, it was great to see Harry Lemmy come back, play his second game as a 17-year-old, off college football. Yeah, look, he had a big task. They've got some good defenders down there. I think we missed him a few times, just the fact that we haven't played with him a lot. He is very much a leading player, and there was times where he was on and we didn't quite use him, but look, really pleased that he got another game under his belt, kicked a goal, been working on his kicking, so that was really a highlight to see him kick that long shot from about 50 metres out, because clearly we've been doing a lot of work on that as well. And then to bring Lucas Moline in, we have a very high opinion of Lucas, and unfortunately he's been a bit interrupted this year with injuries, and clearly showed with 19 touches and a few clearances and the ability to win the ball and move around the ground that he's got something for the future for us, so pretty excited about the prospects there. Now, during the week we decided to get a mindset guy to come and talk to our leaders and emerging leaders. Just another avenue. We notice how big that is in football these days, the mental skills part of the game. And yeah, we had a really good couple of hour meeting with him, with the leaders, and tried a few little things differently, tried to think a little bit more positive, think a little bit more about winning and how you win, and the talk and just even the preparation going in before the game, just to get everyone up and about and a little bit more excited and thinking of others rather than themselves, you know, thinking of team rather than individuals. Tried a couple little things myself before the game with the meeting, which I haven't done, which went down well. So yeah, a bit of a line in the sand moment. I think for this year, for me, it's been very much about a learning year for the players, and I realise now that there's a lot to having a successful team. All the things that I tried in the past haven't quite worked as quickly as I'd like, so I think the mindset stuff is a really important thing, because that sort of decides how you go into a game, whether you think you can actually win, and whether we've been just thinking a bit more about being competitive. So that's something that we went to work on this last week. And clearly we'll go into the last game thinking very similar. So hopefully we can put in a really good performance and finish the year strongly. Yeah. So Lockie Squires won our team first axe this week, and there were some other good contributors. Kenny Carpeney had a number of team acts as well. So clearly that's been a good focus for the boys over the last month or so with the team first stuff, and I think that's something that we'll really pursue going forward, because yeah, firstly it's a bit of a competition amongst the guys, and then secondly it makes them work that little bit harder for the team and for each other. Yeah. I think as I said, I've learned a lot about the team and the players this year, so now going into this last game and also drawing that line in the sand last week, we clearly go into the game thinking we can win, and we're talking about how we can do it. We pushed South last time we played them to within 3 points, so I think the guys are pretty keen to finish off the year on a good note. South have got plenty to play for at the same time too, because they've got a final spot up for grabs, so it's going to be a pretty tough encounter, but we'll give it our best shot and hopefully that'll set us up for a really solid pre-season and an exciting 2022. So stick with us. I know it's been a bit of a tough year. I've learned a lot about myself with my coaching, and I've learned a lot about my group, and we feel like we have a good understanding of the way forward. And stick with us, and hopefully there's better times ahead.